Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. We're so excited you're here for this very special interview that we have invited our special guest, Alex from Kajabi. Welcome, Alex. We have some really fun things planned for you today. So if you haven't started your online business yet, if you've been considering Kajabi or you're just exploring different options, this is definitely the interview for you. So Alex, take it away. Tell us a little bit more first about you, your position, how you got started with Kajabi, and then we'll jump into more about Kajabi itself.
Yeah, it's a really cool story, actually. So I had no idea about Kajabi at all. In 2019, I was working as a digital marketing strategist for a sales trainer, author, speaker. What I did was I took the content in his books, we turned it into video scripts, we filmed those into courses, uploaded them to Kajabi, is what we were using at the time. And then my job was also to sell this. Like, how do you sell a course? I had to figure all of this out. And that was in 2019. And in 2 years, we did $500,000 in revenue. So that was pretty cool.
That's fantastic.
So that's how I got my first introduction into building courses, all the things like that. And it was pretty interesting. Now what I do is I basically teach people how to do what I did. And so I do that in a couple different ways. But first, so Kajabi, when I first interviewed, I was like, hey, listen, I know how to do everything on Kajabi. And obviously things have changed since then. But my job is to stay up to date with everything that's happening in Kajabi and kind of translate that to the customers, to anybody who's interested in Kajabi. And I do that as a senior customer training specialist on these Kajabi live Q&A webinars. They're pretty cool. They're a lot of fun. I did one today. I do them Wednesdays, Fridays, and Mondays. I'm not sure why I said it in that order, but yes, I do them Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The goal there is to make you less than one business day away from getting your question answered. And so,
Fantastic.
yeah, yeah. So I've had a pretty interesting life, pretty interesting story. It's brought me here to working at Kajabi, and it's amazing. Not only is Kajabi a great tool to use, platform to use to run your whole business, it's also a great place to work.
That's what I hear. And at the time of recording this video, today is actually your birthday, and you're getting ready to head out for a leave, for paternity leave, is my understanding. So that's exciting. And you're going to be off for 3 months.
Yep. Kajabi is amazing. They treat our founder, Kenny, he wrote a manifesto. And basically, in this manifesto, he said, every single person who works at Kajabi is going to be taken care of in all aspects. So that way, they don't have to stress about anything other than the stuff that's going on in their job. They don't have any outside stressors are taken care of. So paternity leave, maternity leave, these are all like 3 months paid, everything. We just want people to be happy when they come to work. And so they made good on that promise. And yeah, so this Friday is my last day. I've got 3 months of paternity leave, and then I return. I'll have a bunch to catch up on and a bunch of new projects. So it's really exciting that they allow me to, kick butt at work and then also spend time with my family and bond with my brand new baby, who I'm going to meet in a couple days.
That's so exciting. And what a testament to any company that puts that much store in their employees, not just about the bottom line and all of the things that you hear about in corporate America about that it's just about making money. And so it's always fun when you hear stories like this about companies that it's more principle based and value based. And Kajabi, definitely, that's been my experience too, just being a user of Kajabi for years. So along those lines, let's start diving into Kajabi and starting with the industry as a whole, because in my opinion, there's never been a better time to start an online business than it is now. And I think back to when I first started, and you can even say, because when I started it was 2008, and I actually got in as a founding member of Kajabi when they first switched over to the new Kajabi in, I believe it was 2012 was when I got started. and then you've been working with it since 2019. So let's talk just a little bit about the industry and why now is the perfect time to jump in and start thinking about an online business.
I think first of all, this industry is growing. It's growing so fast. I don't have the exact numbers, which I probably can get eventually, but there are a lot of people creating online businesses. It's because of the opportunity. At one point, there was a very high barrier to entry in order to start a business.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward to today, 2025, all you got to do is have a skill that people will pay for, and now you have a business. And
So true.
anyone in the world can be your customer because of the internet. And because of the internet and companies like Kajabi, you can create a course, do some coaching, create a PDF and sell it. You can create a podcast and make it paid. You can create your own newsletter. There's so many things you can do to monetize your knowledge. And I think
Yeah.
that's a huge reason as to why this industry, we call it knowledge commerce or the creator industry. It's booming. It's getting bigger and bigger. It's not stopping anytime soon. And I think it's because all the barriers um, just keep on being removed. The barriers are being, you know, torn down because of the internet and how it's connected all of us
Globally,
on a
yeah,
global
everybody.
scale.
Not to mention the fact that with the advent of AI and the
Yeah.
advancements in technology, even looking at how much Kajabi has grown over the years since I first got started. And I think about, when I got started in this industry, Kajabi wasn't around. Like I said, I started in 2008, and there were so many different tools that I had to use and then try and get them to all work together. And it was clunky, and there was a lot of manual processes, and it was expensive because you had to pay for each one of these software platforms individually. And it was such a nightmare. And then moving over into Kajabi, where it was all seamless and it was under one roof. But then, even then, look how far Kajabi has come on, like you said, podcasts, newsletters, PDFs, all of those things. And the advent of the new community feature is, I think, game changing, especially because people in the industry especially really love the connection as part of the knowledge commerce industry type of thing. So along those lines, what are you seeing from Kajabi from that perspective? I mean, there's definitely a lot of growth. There's a lot of attention to constantly being improving. So let's talk just a minute about that, from just always being on the cutting edge.
Yeah, I was actually talking about this today on my Q&A webinar. Somebody asked me a question, and I answered by saying this. That could just kind of like what you said, Kajabi has been around since 2010. And so what that means is we have 15 years of customers telling us how to make our platform better and 15 years of us listening to our customers and making the platform better. If you take a look at Kajabi, there's basically two types of people who work here. There are software engineers who are extremely good at what they do and making the best possible product. And there are people who work in customer service. Those are the two biggest groups of people who work at Kajabi. And that should tell you two things. Or sorry, that should tell you at least one thing, that Kajabi cares about making the product as best as it can be. And we care a ton about supporting our current customers and helping them succeed and basically achieve their dreams. That's what our company is all about. So we have all this data, all this customer interaction for the past 15 years, and it's really helped us shape the current product 2025 into exactly what you need to create a business this year, right now, this week, and be successful and not have to deal with the stuff we dealt with 3 years ago. We have cutting edge tools. You mentioned AI. We've had plenty of AI features. For God's sakes, we have a chat bot inside of Kajabi that can help you write your emails, write the copy on your websites, and help you uh, help you brainstorm different headlines for your website, right?
Yeah,
We have all kinds of cool stuff.
what the other thing that's really interesting about that from my perspective too, having been with Kajabi since the beginning, is that all of these new features are continually being added and it's always being improved to really benefit those who are trying to make a living off of using this as a tool. And at the same time, my fees have not changed. It's like all of these extra features, it's like they're not a tiered system where you have to pay extra for all of these things. I mean, yes, Kajabi has its where, okay, do you need how many products? Is it 3 products or 15 products or whatever? And there's but it's not like you are limited when they add the AI feature and then they add the new community and they added the downloads and they added podcasts and all those kind of things. It was just a part of your access to the platform.
Yeah, Kajabi's not here to nickel and dime you. We want to create a platform that everybody can use, and that includes people who are not tech savvy. That includes people who are maybe just starting off with creating a business. We understand that that's who our customers are. It's people who are new to it,
Yeah.
and so yeah, for that reason, it's a big platform with a lot of stuff that you can do. But for somebody just starting out, we don't want to overwhelm people, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. We really try not to nickel and dime people. There's only like 3 upsells I can think of, and it's like for like the branded mobile app, right? So if you want to create your own mobile app, well, of course there's an extra charge for that. We have to create a mobile app for God's sakes. And so like, but apart from these things, you're absolutely right. We don't every time we come out with a new feature, we don't make you pay for it.
Now, there's one thing
Yeah.
that you said there that really struck me that I wanted to highlight, and that is the simplicity and the usability. Because regardless of how tech savvy you are, the platform is laid out in a way that's straightforward and simple to get things going and set up. And there's templates and there's tools to be able to improve that process, especially for brand new people that are thinking, well, I want to start this online business, but I'm not a copywriter. I'm not a graphic designer. I don't really know technology. It's a little overwhelming for me. And that is one thing that is kind of neat, especially I think that sets apart from a lot of the other competition, because there is now there's platforms. Kajabi was pretty much the only thing back in the day. There was maybe 2 or 3 platforms that was vying for top. Now there's all kinds of them, but none of them really, in my opinion, have I come across that has the flexibility and the customization. So how do you have something that can be so simple for anybody to use, but yet have the freedom to be customizable and as complex as you want it to be? And honestly, to me, I think that's the beauty of how valuable the way Kajabi has set the system up. So many other platforms, it's like, well, here's your template. And then this is what it looks like. This is what your library looks like. This is what your product looks like. This is what your website's going to look like, kind of thing. Where some people, when they're first getting started, that can be the overwhelm, is that there is so much customization, but yet at the same time, such simplicity and templates and support. So let's talk just a little bit about that from a support perspective and debunk some of the rumors that are out there about Kajabi. Like I've heard things like, that it's difficult to use, that it's too expensive for what you get. It's just for courses. So let's talk about that and kind of debunk some of those things that people are saying about Kajabi.
Sure. You mentioned what's the first myth you want to debunk?
Sure. Let's first talk about it's hard to use, because that was kind of what we were talking about, at the simplicity plus then the complexity of customization.
Yeah, Kajabi really is built for people who are brand new. It really is. Um, when I started on Kajabi in 2019, I wasn't a web designer. I wasn't a copywriter. I wasn't any of these things. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's not going to be hard, because there are things that you're going to have to learn. You are going to learn how to become a graphic designer, or at least good enough to be dangerous, right, on
Right?
Canva, right? You're going to have to learn copywriting. You're going to have to learn, a few things. But like anything, right? The only way you don't learn these things before you get started. You get started and you learn as you go. I think that's what's cool about online business. It's very forgiving, right? There's a low barrier to entry in terms of, financially speaking. It's very low barrier to entry. You don't have to sign a lease contract for a storefront. You don't have to buy merchandise ahead of time. You really just kind of have an idea and press go and learn along the way. So um, Kajabi is for beginners, and more so online business, specifically courses, coaching, consulting. These things are for beginners. It's okay if you're not, as long as you have this skill, right? As long as you have a skill to monetize, you're good to go, right? If you are somebody who has done something for a while, or you've unlocked a certain process, right? People would really like to learn that process, and you can deliver that to them behind a paywall with your course, with the coaching, with community. And that's what Kajabi allows you to do. And it is true that there are things you're going to have to learn how to do, but that's okay. That's part of the process.
Yeah, I mean, anything is going to be a learning process. Even going into, I mean, I have a master's in business, and I still came into this with a huge learning curve. Just from, it's a different marketing strategy. It's a different process when you're selling knowledge versus commodities or physical
Yeah.
products. But at the same time, there's so much opportunity, and it's just a learning process. We always talk about that learning doesn't take place inside your comfort zone. You have to step outside that comfort zone in order to see growth, to see improvements and expand. Just kind of like when you're working out, they talk about that if you're not working your muscles, you're not growing your muscles, sort of thing.
Right.
So it's the same thing in
Right.
in business. So yeah, I think that's a great way to put it, that it is for beginners, but it can be as complex as it needs to be for the more advanced businesses that have more design requirements and elements that they want to include, or multiple things that they want to put together. There is that customization and flexibility. So I think
Yeah.
that's really
And
cool.
I want to make sure I touch on this. Here at Kajabi, we understand everything I just said. We are well aware that that
We all
that you
start
may not
somewhere.
have all the skills. Yeah. And so that's why we put together Kajabi University, which is an entire it's basically us using our own product. When you sign up with Kajabi, you get free access to Kajabi University, which is where you can go watch a course on how to build a course. You can watch a course on how to, build out anything in Kajabi. So us employees, and then also subject matter experts
Mm-hmm.
and partners. We fly them out to our studio in California. We film a course with them, and then we give you that course for free in Kajabi University. And this is where you can learn not just specific product things about Kajabi, but you could also learn marketing strategy. So we fly these people out, film a course with them, and we give this to you for free in Kajabi, so you can learn marketing, which is cool. Which is really
That
cool. It's
is.
like we understand the struggle, so we try really hard to help you along your journey. But at the end of the day, it comes down to this: your effort. It comes down to your effort. How much effort do you want to put into building this business, right? And if you want to put a lot of effort in, well, there's a lot of resources for you.
Well, and I think that's the big thing to really point out here, Alex, is the fact that, I mean, some people may not even realize that the Kajabi University even exists, or if they did know, that they're not implementing and taking advantage of that resource as much as they could be, or even just reaching out and finding help, people like me that can then coach and give the support and get them over those hurdles. So, we talk a lot of times where you get caught in that hamster wheel of just
Yeah.
busy work, and then the hamster wheel you start, and we call it the hamster wheel because you're busy and you're constantly doing all of these things, but you don't feel like you're getting anywhere. And then that can very quickly turn into overwhelm, frustration, and imposter syndrome, which is a common thing in this industry when you're first getting started. So knowing that there are resources available, I think is huge, because when you are at those moments of a hamster wheel or overwhelm or why did I do this? That's where then people start saying Kajabi's hard, it's expensive, what am I doing? And it's just that they're not reaching out per se. A lot of times that's my experience. I mean, I can't say that you listening to this I'm not singling you out, that you're just not doing what you're supposed to be doing. I'm just saying that there are resources available if you find yourself in those places of just feeling overwhelmed when you're working on your business. So awesome. Well, I think that's really cool. I love that Kajabi does that and offers so much support. There's the AI support, there's the actual live support that's available when you get caught up with certain tech questions or something acts funky. And then of course there's the university and tools like that. And I believe, the Kajabi experts. Kajabi has compiled a group of people like me that are independent of Kajabi that you can tap into experts, and that resource is available as well.
Yeah, that's true. We will never become a marketing agency. We're not your marketing agency. We are the platform that allows you to build your business, right? So we're not going to do marketing for you. We're also not going to build your business for you, right? But there are people who would like to do that, would happily do that for you. Run your ads, create, create some
Graphics
videos for you, help create, yeah, exactly. Help create your course, design all your thumbnails. And so that is where our expert store comes in. And that's where we've really partnered with some key people who have been vetted by us and who can really help. So some people, they're like, look, I have a lot of knowledge about a certain subject. I want to create this online business. I want to do this course, but I just don't know how. I am just tech handicapped. I just don't know how to do any of it, and I don't have any desire to learn. So in that case, you can exchange your dollars for someone's service, and you can have them do it for you. So, and that's, like you said, completely separated from Kajabi, but somebody who is affiliated. So that would be somebody like you who could come in and absolutely help somebody out with their entire business, or at least even a part of their business.
Well, and it's easier than just going on Google or asking AI and trying to figure out. It's just nice to know that there's a resource available for those kind of things. So kind of along those lines then, let's say somebody out there is listening and they're like, well, I have this idea and I've been thinking about it for a while, and I'm thinking I'm ready to pull the trigger, and Kajabi is the platform for me. What would be your best advice to that person who's thinking about starting out? Like, what should they do? What happens after they enroll? What are the tools like the university that are available to them, and what recommendations that they should do to see the best success?
Yeah, I guess I would say have a plan, understand what you're going to create, but what's probably the most important thing to do before you sign up with Kajabi or before you want to design this business is under, understand and maybe even test the marketplace. You have to confirm that there is, in fact, a need for the business that you're going to create. What I see a lot of times is people are creating these businesses. They're spending all this time on their website, all these non-revenue generating activities.
True.
And like you said, they'll spend a lot of time doing, but they're stuck in that hamster wheel because they're doing all these things, but they're not getting any results. It's because, unfortunately, you're spending time on non-revenue generating activities.
Common
So,
mistake.
Yeah, a revenue generating activity would be doing a survey of your potential customers to see if a course or a coaching program is something that they would actually buy. So that's step one, right? Also, an even easier way is just look up, are there courses on this thing? Is there people doing coaching on this topic? If yes, then there's a business model there. Like that's the easy, like first thing you should do. Like if other people are doing it, great. Then that means it works, right? It's not this like, oh, they took my idea. It's like that's no. If they're doing it, that means there's a market for this. So that's step one. Make sure you're building a business that actually has potential to grow, and potential to have customers, because that's very important for every business, right? Now, after you sign up for Kajabi, we've got our business idea. What I'd recommend you do is sign up for an onboarding call. This is a call with somebody from Kajabi all day long. This is what they do. They listen to people's business ideas and they show them how to use Kajabi, how to make it happen. That is for free. Um, we don't charge extra for this. Like, it's crazy. We're actually invested in our customers. We want you to succeed. We want to show you how to use Kajabi and make your business happen. Like, we're not here to hinder you. We're here to help you. So sign up for an onboarding call. It's totally free. And I recommend Janina. She's great. You
Good
can
to
choose
know.
who you go with. Everybody on the team is amazing. But Janina, she's shadowing me and she's taking over all my stuff while I go on paternity leave. But yeah, so the original question was what to do after you sign up for with Kajabi. Just understand there's resources for everything that you're struggling with as well. So we sign up for Kajabi, we get our onboarding call. Maybe we're stuck on how to build a certain part of our website. Well, if you go to help.kajabi.com, we made it confusing on purpose. Just kidding. It's very easy. Help.kajabi.com. We have articles on everything with tables of contents, usually with videos, usually well organized with GIFs, everything you need in order to physically show you both audio and visually how to solve the problem that you're trying to how to solve the problem. So we've got that for you. We've got learn.kajabi.com. If you go there, right there, if you scroll down, there's a thing called onboarding. Click on that. It's a 14-step checklist on all the things you need to do as soon as you sign up for Kajabi. And then Rebecca, I assume if they want to work with you, I think you have a lot of tools as well beyond just the standard stuff that I've been talking about that Kajabi offers. Is that right?
Yes, actually, I love that you guys do the free onboarding call. That is so beneficial and so valuable. And when someone enrolls with Kajabi with our partner link, we do an additional onboarding call, and where you guys really focus in on the tech and making sure that and what's their business and here's what you need. We actually go in deeper on strategy and help them to get clarity on what they should be working on to monetize quickly, because that's always the biggest mistake that we see is that hamster wheel is so distracting and it's really easy to get caught in a lot of those non-revenue generating activities like you talked about. It's just what it's especially when you're just getting started in business, it's you don't know what you don't know. And so we tend to fall into what we think we should be working on. And the reality is we want to get it monetized quickly so that we can and test, like you said. So yeah, we do. So they get two onboarding calls, one with Kajabi, one with us, and they get access to our conversion code program, which includes Kajabi mentorship, so that there are coaches in there, like Kajabi University, goes hand in hand very, very strategically and synergistically, I guess is the word,
Yeah. Oh,
uh,
yeah, that's a word for sure.
to be able to make sure that questions are answered, that they're supported, that they're not getting caught in that hamster wheel, that there's definite constant momentum and they're working on the right tasks, because part of a business is the technology, part of it is the elements you're building and the strategy, and then the other part is the mindset to make sure that you're not getting in your own way. So we want to make sure that you're getting supported in all of those categories. But yeah, lots of possibilities then. So somebody starting out, that's great advice, and nice to know that those are things you should be watching for, because I've noticed that when you sign up, sometimes you're inundated with emails. You get the welcome email, you get the here's your login stuff, and it's real easy to miss that email on whether it's the one from us saying take advantage of our bonuses, or the one from Kajabi saying here's the university, schedule your onboarding call, all those kind of things. So I would say my advice when you're first getting started, open all your emails and make sure
Yeah.
that you're at least glancing through them and getting all of the tools and the resources that are given to you when you enroll. Which of course,
I
one
do
of
have
go ahead.
I was going to say, I do have one last tip, and this is something that will probably, hopefully, blow you away, but it's so obvious. The last thing you need to do when you're first starting out is you need to tackle the problem of you not having a large audience. People with a large
Yes.
audience on social media, it doesn't matter what they create. If it's poop, if it's gold, right? Doesn't matter. It will sell because they have a large audience. So for people like me who don't have a large audience, what do you do? How do you solve that problem? Well, okay, it's so obvious. You leverage other people's audiences.
I love that.
Instead of spending years and years and years and not making any sales, starting a business and making zero sales while you build the audience, hopefully you've been building an audience, but if you don't have one, here's what to do. Use other people's audiences. Best way to do that, go on other people's podcasts, pay people, to like pay for a sponsored spot in somebody's newsletter, because other people have been for years cultivating your perfect audience, right? So all you got to do is exchange your dollars for their audience, and boom, you have solved your audience problem. You may need to take your wallet out and pay for it, but I mean, these people, they've been cultivating your perfect audience for years and years and years, and all you got to do is pay them to gain access to your exact customers. I cannot think of a better deal. It's so obvious, but seems like nobody knows this. Can you
Agreed.
can you back me up on that?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, when we start talking about marketing, that's one of the things. And honestly, we could do a whole interview specifically about marketing, and we may have to schedule one.
Yeah.
But marketing is so fascinating in this business. And the reason that I say that is because, like I said earlier, the rules are different than when you're selling commodities. And a big mistake that I see when new people are coming in is they try selling their course or their coaching program. And what they really need to do is sell the transformation, the problem solution.
Yes.
But when we look at marketing, we're looking at what I always call the three primary buckets of marketing. There's content marketing, which is your social media, your blog, your podcast, all of those things where you're creating content, putting it out there. You have paid advertising, but now granted, the third one is what you talked about. And I put it as a separate category where some marketers and in like the university, they'll put it in this, it's two buckets, paid and unpaid. But I like to think of it more as the third, which is affiliate influencer marketing, because that's
Yep.
so powerful and it's so underutilized. And what the secret is with the affiliate influencer marketing, like you talked about, is relationship building. So it's reaching out and connecting with people that have audience that they've, like you said, they've spent years fostering this audience. And most of the time, they're more than happy if they see the value in what you do. And you're doing your business with integrity and you have a really cool option, whether it's affiliate and you're paying them a percentage of closed business, or if you're paying them to be on their podcast, or any number of different ways that you can. But it's cheaper marketing than it is even Facebook ads, Google ads, that kind of thing, because you're only paying for closed business when you do affiliate marketing. And I love that. So yeah, I can get on my soapbox on when we
Yeah.
start talking marketing, because it's such a passionate topic. And it's the one that's so overlooked when people are first getting started, because they feel like they have to build it first and have everything perfect, and have all of their ducks lined up exactly the way they think it should be. And then they'll go out there and start building their audience and building momentum. And then they get discouraged very quickly because then it's just not, there's not enough momentum. So yeah, definitely. I'm glad that you brought that up because that is definitely something you get me fired up and passionate on that one. Very
Yeah, it's my
exciting.
favorite thing to talk about. Absolutely. It's my favorite thing to talk about. And I always find a way to
Weave it
weasel it
in.
in there. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Well, it's such a good tip too. It's one of those things where, and when you're first getting started in business, you may not even realize that is, or never even heard of, or know how to break into that type of marketing environment. And that's where then having access to things like coaches and Kajabi University and mentorship opportunities is really valuable, because then it helps you to expand on your skills and know how to branch into some of those areas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I
It
love
it
that.
is so great being on here and talking to you, Rebecca. It's it is very refreshing to talk to somebody who kind of nerds out as much as me about this stuff. So I wanted to say that.
Oh, likewise, likewise. It's so fun to be able to, when you have similar experiences and mindset, and a similar passion for helping those who are first getting started to get their foundation built. And one thing that's kind of interesting that a lot of people don't even realize, and you touched on this when you were saying that you feel like you have to have a large audience to be successful. The reality is you need the right audience, not a large audience. And there's a
Right.
difference. We have this image of social media influencers, like, oh, they have millions of followers. Well, followers are more of what we call it's like a popularity metric, but it's not a monetization metric. And, for example, I mean, this YouTube channel for the longest time had less than 1,000 followers, but I was, and have been, multiple six figures in my business. And it doesn't necessarily mean if someone doesn't have a big following that they're not successful. It's that they have the right people seeing their stuff. And that's what you're looking for, is you want the right audience. And the way you reach the right audience is the right message that they want to hear. Any thoughts
Right.
on that, Alex? To just kind of, I mean, we're
Oh,
getting off on a
where
complete
to
tangent,
start?
but you get us really going on marketing, and we could geek out, like you said.
Yeah, I think here's what I'll say. You are 1000% correct about the it's not about it's not about the number of people in your audience. It's about having the right audience. Because at that point, if somebody has millions, like, what is a follower on an app? That's just, at the end of the day, that's just somebody interacting with the app. Does that person even see the posts that you do? Probably not, right? The goal should be to get them on your email list. And with
Which is in
Kajabi, you
Kajabi.
can, right, exactly. Um, but I, it's so true. And just to, I want to say a million things about this, but here's what I'll say. Depending on what you sell and how much it costs, 1,000 people could change your life.
True.
That's all you need. You
Yeah.
need 1,000 people or 1,000 sales of whatever it is that you have. And that is potentially life changing opportunity. So if when you think of it that way, like, don't think about I need millions of followers. First of all, because you don't. What you really need is the right audience, which is exactly what you said. Because you're right, 1,000 people could change your life. You don't have to have a massive audience. You gotta have the right audience.
Yeah, yeah. So then it's just having the right messaging that resonates with that audience and connects with them, and that's what's really the beauty of Kajabi. And I love too how Kajabi, the emails are right there. You own social media; they can shut you down in an instant. With Kajabi, you have that those contacts, that's your business. It just makes it so much more of a business that you control, that you can manage, and you can look at the numbers and paint a picture from there. And the other thing too that a lot of people don't realize, speaking of Kajabi being a cool company really supporting people, is your rewards program. So you actually celebrate the first sale with people, with prizes even. And so there's milestones of, I believe it's first sale, 1,000, 10,000. I think it changed recently. Do you know what that is now?
I think I know. I think it's what you said. I think it's 10,000, 50,000, 100,000.
And then $1 million.
I think it's 500,000 and then $1 million. I think. Maybe it's not for 50,000.
And then they have 10 million and 100 million, because when I was at Kajabi Hero Live, they were handing out awards for 10 and 100 million, which is such an impressive achievement to have lifetime.
Can you believe it? We've given out a prize for somebody generating $100 million on Kajabi.
Yeah, that's impressive.
So
cool.
Probably a good time. If you go to kajabi.com, just right on our homepage, it'll tell you how much what we call GMV our customers have made. This is not money that Kajabi has made. This is money that our customers have generated. It's pretty cool. It's at the time of this recording,
I think, right?
It's $9 billion have been processed through Kajabi. So our customers have made all that money. Can you imagine how much money we would have made if we charge a percentage? But we don't do that.
But we don't do that. That's the beauty. I mean, some of the platforms do. They charge a percentage, and that adds up. So yeah, that's definitely a really cool thing. And you think about, like we were talking about earlier, there's never been a better time to be involved in this industry when you have complete control for such low overhead and such high profit margin. For those of you that aren't familiar with business terms, profit margin is the difference between how much you have to spend and how much you earn. And if you have to spend as much as you're earning, then you may be making $1 million, but you're not making $1 million. And in an industry like this, you can make $1 million and have such low overhead that you're putting the rest of that into your pocket, which is huge. So basically, let's just then, what do then people need to do to get started? I would say Kajabi is actually, if you're thinking about starting right now, there's always some really great promotions. If you go through a partner like me, definitely shop around, because partners, the cool thing Kajabi does is they allow partners like me to offer their own bonuses. So not only do you get whatever special deals they have through a partner, which usually is extended trial periods or special pricing or bundle type of situations. Right now, there's some really exciting things that are going with Kajabi. There's a big promotion end of April all the way through May 23rd. So depending on when you're watching this video, if it's between April 21st and May 23rd, definitely a great time to get started with Kajabi. But then when you use the link that's below this video, which is my partner link, you not only get access to the special promotion that's going on right now, whichever one it happens to be when you're watching this video, but you also get my bonuses, which includes that extra onboarding call, a full hour recorded, use however you want to help you get up and running. We can build it for you. We can help things. We can strategize, all kinds of different things that we can do in that call. And then a full month access to our conversion code coaching program, which includes weekly coaching sessions. And then don't forget, of course, Alex's 3 times a week coaching opportunities where you can go in and ask questions, and the Kajabi University, all kinds of really great opportunities to just set you up for success. Plus, we have our brand new Monetize in 7 Days or Less series to give you exactly what you need to do to make that first sale as quickly as possible. So definitely some exciting things. Anything else you'd like to add, Alex, to wrap things up and encourage people? I mean, like I said, now's a perfect time to check it out. And the beauty of it is, from starting a business, I mean, what have you got to lose?
Right. I do have a couple things to add. First of all, if you're watching this video all the way to the end, thank you. Second of all, I'm here because Rebecca is the real deal. I wouldn't be doing this with Rebecca. I wouldn't be putting my Kajabi logo here on this call if Rebecca wasn't the real deal. So if you're looking for an even better deal than what Kajabi offers, this is the secret pathway. this is the workaround. It's by going through one of our partners. And so this isn't something that we talk about a lot publicly, but honestly, it is. The best way to get onto Kajabi is through a partner. Rebecca is a great option because of all the things she just listed just now. All these amazing calls you get with her, coaching, access to her stuff. I believe you do Q&As as well. Mm-hmm. So when you're starting a new business, when you're starting a new venture, when there's a new opportunity, you're going to have questions. And somebody like Rebecca has been doing this since 2012. Rebecca has the answers to your questions. Okay. So it's, yeah, I think it's going to be a really good promotional cycle this year. Like you said, we do a lot of promotions. This one is my favorite. And so,
it's a good one.
Yeah, it's a really good one. A lot of great value. And here at Kajabi and here with our partners, we're not here to scam you out of money. We're not here to like just take your money. Everybody is here to make everybody else successful. That's the point. That's the whole point of what Rebecca does. I think, Rebecca, you'd agree with me on that, right?
Absolutely. It's one of the best communities that I've come across. And so many industries, when you're working with other people that are in the same industry, it's competitive. They're trying to one-up you because it is so competitive in this industry, and especially the Kajabi community as a whole, the Facebook group, the community, in Kajabi, where you can get involved with some of the internal communities. Everybody's so incredibly supportive and encouraging and answering questions. It's not like anything I've ever seen anywhere else. So it's definitely, if you're thinking about business, it's the best way to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Like you said, as Alex said, for if you're still watching, staying to the end, definitely check out the description below with the links. I'll put the links that Alex mentioned as well, like help.kajabi.com, learn.kajabi.com. We'll have those in the links to make it real easy for you. You don't have to try and remember and find them. We'll put that in the description, as well as the link to our website where you can learn more about our bonuses and see what the latest promotion is and how you can get started with Kajabi. So definitely, if you have an idea, you're thinking about getting started, or if you are on another platform, is another option. If you've been working with another platform and you're not sure if it's perfect for you and you're not seeing the growth that you would like to, it's a great time to think about transitioning to Kajabi and moving your business to a platform where you can really sky's the limit grow and see all of your dreams come true based on what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So definitely check out those links below. And if you haven't already, put a comment, let us know what questions you have on anything that we talked about here, and we'll be happy to jump in and answer those and help you out even further. So thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you on the next video. And thanks again, Alex, for being our guest today. Take care.
Absolutely. It was a lot of fun.